All right, let's talk cars. Specifically, let's talk about one of the most competitive markets on the planet, U.S. auto sales. We've got the fresh 2025 numbers right here, and we are going to count down the biggest of the big, the best-selling car brands in the entire country.
It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it tells us a ton about brand loyalty, what's hot in the market, and really who's winning over American drivers. Go ahead, take a guess. Who do you think is sitting at number one? Let's see if you're right.
Okay, let's get right into it. Think of this as a high-stakes race. We're going to count it down from number 15 all the way to the top spot. And trust me, the competition is absolutely fierce.
So, kicking things off, we're starting in the middle of the pack. And what's so interesting here is that this is a real battleground, especially for some of the huge names in the luxury space.
So check this out. It's a total German showdown, isn't it? You've got Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes, and BMW all packed in tight. Now, these guys are icons of engineering, right? They're all about that premium feel, which means higher price tags. And that's exactly why you don't see them cracking the top 10 overall. They're just not playing the same volume game as the mainstream brands. BMW leads this group at number 12, but you're about to see just how big the jump is to get any higher. And here we have the one that almost made it, the gatekeeper to the top 10 if you like. It's Mazda. A really strong showing for them, a brand people love for its sharp looks and fun driving feel. So their number is just over 410,000 vehicles. That's our line in the sand. To get into the top 10, you gotta beat that. And believe me, the jump from here, it gets pretty steep. Okay, here we go. We are now officially breaking into the big leagues, the top 10. This is where the numbers don't just climb, they explode. It's a straight-up battle of the titans from here on out. And kicking off our top 10 is, well, it's the brand that basically threw out the rule book and started over. At number 10, it's Tesla. And think about this. They're the only company on this entire list that only sells EVs. They sold over 573,000 cars. That's huge. It proves Tesla has cemented its place as a major player. I mean, they forced literally every other car company to scramble and rethink their entire game plan. This isn't some niche brand anymore, folks. This is a mainstream heavy hitter. All right, moving up the list. Coming in at number 9, it's Subaru. You know them, you love them, especially if you love all-wheel drive. They have such a loyal fan base, and it shows, with over 643,000 cars sold. Now, you also see Nissan up there at number 7. We'll get to them in just a second. But first, we need to find out who's at number 8. And that brings us to the Korean powerhouses. Grabbing the number 8 spot is Kia with a very impressive 852,000 sales. Okay, now let's jump back to number 7. Nissan closing in on 1 million vehicles. That leaves number 6, and it's Hyundai. And this is where it gets really interesting because we've got a classic family feud. Hyundai, with just under 1 million sales, edges out its sister company Kia. They might share a lot of tech under the hood, but believe me, in the showroom, they are fierce, fierce rivals. Okay, deep breaths. We are about to hit the podium, the top 3. But first, let's talk about the 2 brands that came so close to getting a medal. These are the absolute titans of the US market, and the numbers from this point on are just, well, they're staggering. Coming in at number 5 is Stellantis. Now that's the massive company that owns American icons like Jeep, Ram, and Dodge. They sold over 1.25 million vehicles. And just off the podium, in 4th place, the ever-popular Honda, with over 1.4 million sold. I mean, think about that. Both are selling an insane amount of cars, and it's still not enough to get on the podium. So, who did? Taking the bronze medal in 3rd place, it's a true American icon. It's Ford. And whoa, look at that jump. Ford sold over 2.1 million vehicles. This is the key moment right here. We've just entered the 2 million plus club. That is a massive, massive leap from 4th place. And it just goes to show you how dominant the top 3 really are. But even 2.1 million isn't enough for the top spot. Taking this silver medal, our runner-up is a global giant that's basically synonymous with reliability. In 2nd place, it's Toyota. Over 2.5 million cars sold. That is just a colossal number. For years and years, Toyota has been fighting for that number 1 spot, and they came so close again, which, of course, leaves only one. And that means the undisputed 2025 champion, the best-selling automaker in the entire United States,
is another American legend. It's General Motors.
Look at that, over 2.8 million vehicles. When you combine the power of brands like Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac, GM stands all alone at the very top. This chart really says it all, doesn't it? Just look at the sheer scale of the top three: GM, Toyota, and Ford. They're playing a completely different game from everyone else. That gap between third and fourth place, it's not a gap, it's a canyon. So, okay, we've seen the numbers, but what does it all mean? What's the story behind this ranking? Let's break down the big takeaways. First off, American brands are still king at home. With GM and Ford in the top three, it's clear that the love for trucks and SUVs is as strong as ever. Second, the rest of that top 10 is just dominated by Japanese and Korean brands. They've built this ironclad reputation for value and reliability, and it pays off. Third, those German luxury brands, they're fighting a different battle. They're focused on the high-profit premium market, which means they're grabbing a smaller piece of the total pie. And finally, you can't ignore Tesla. Making the top 10 proves the EV revolution isn't some far-off thing. It's here, right now, and it's mainstream. You know, when you really look at it, this isn't just a sales chart. It's a snapshot of America. It tells a story about what we value, our brand loyalties, and even our national identity. It shows you exactly where the whole industry is going. And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. As this whole EV thing keeps getting bigger and faster, is this list going to look the same in 5 years? Or by 2030, will we have a brand new champion on the podium? One thing's for sure, this race is far from over.